Okay, Anna, so one of the other things you talked about is pasta sauce, right? And again, I think this is one of those things where if you buy jars, great, it's fine, but again, you have usually a lot of refined sugars inside, and you get into that processing, and sugar is a preservative, right?
Yes.
So we're going to teach you how to make a sauce that you can make a big batch, and you can freeze it. You can put it in the freezer, you can put it in the fridge, and you have it for the week, and you can do pasta, or you can cook it down and you can turn it into a pizza sauce.
Oh, okay.
Which is what we're going to do today. But really simply, again, because we want to get away from that sugar. So we have some onions again, which we used for the ketchup, right? So we have some onions. We're going to start to cook those a little bit, right? So if you want to put those onions in there.
I can use this one?
Yeah, you can use that same. So you're going to put the onions in there, and we're going to let them cook, right? Because it's that cooking process, again, the same as the ketchup, where you want to bring out the natural sugars, right? So you want that natural sweetness to actually happen. And we're going to let that cook while we talk about our other sweet additive, right?
Yeah.
So you can take garlic and put fresh garlic in there, and it'll get sweet. But if you actually take garlic, and what we've done here is, and this is a favorite of Dorothy's actually, she loves to do this. She makes roasted garlic like crazy. I think she does how many? 100 bulbs a week. So she likes roasted garlic. But, so if you take garlic bulbs, and if you trim them off, and just trim the top off, and drizzle with a little bit of oil, and then wrap them in foil, and you can see here, you can actually have this garlic here, and what it does is it concentrates the natural sugars, right? So again, you get that nice sweet garlic flavor as opposed to a spicy garlic flavor, and you actually just simply squeeze that in, right? And you get that nice garlicky flavor.
So she put that in the oven?
You put it in the oven,
With a bit of
so you
oil,
wrap
right?
this up, little oil in the oven for about 45 minutes. And I like it a little bit more done because I like that a little bit of that caramelization. But you can do it a little bit less, so it's a little bit lighter.
Yeah.
Right. So it's up to you. But again, that's going to add the sweetness. And I put the whole the garlic skins and everything in there and cook it in, and then take it out after. Because again, you have all that flavor, right? You have all that nice flavor and the sweetness and so forth will come in.
It stays in there too?
Yeah. I'm going to leave it in there. We'll take it out at the end.
Okay.
And then so. And you can do this. You make this, you can do like 5 or 6 of these. You can bring them out once they're roasted, cool them, put them into a little glad bag, throw them in the freezer.
Oh.
And then when you're ready, so again, you can have a whole bunch of this stuff ready, so you're not waiting 30, 40 minutes for this. So put it in the freezer.
Makes the cooking process.
Makes the cooking process so much faster.
Yeah.
And even if you want to make a base without garlic, and you want to add it later, or you want, one night you don't want garlic, or you don't want it too strong, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So you can just squeeze the garlic in.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah? Excellent. So we're going to let those soften. And now, with this again, you want to get into reading labels, right?
Yes.
When you're using products, there's nothing wrong with using a canned product, but you want to have a look and see what's in it. And this is a product that has no added salt. It's an Italian tomato, and it only has 2 grams of sugar for a half cup. So it's pretty low in sugar, natural sugars. So there's no sugar added. It's naturally sugar from the tomato. These tomatoes are actually quite sweet, right?
Yes.
So again, you pick a nice tomato it's nice and ripe, nice and red. And we're going to put that in. And again, this is really simple. This is a really simple base that you can then add in flavor depending on what you want to do, right?
Yeah.
So with this, we're just going to let it simmer. And we'll put a sprig of basil in there. You can put a couple of sprigs of basil in there. And you have this base that once it's simmered for about 30 minutes, 45 minutes, you cook it down, and then you can mash it. You can take a potato masher and just mash it, you know what I mean? Because it'll soften up.
Yeah.
Or you can put it in a food processor. It doesn't matter, right?
Or I can leave it like this too, right?
Or you can just leave it just like that, depending on what
Chunky.
you want. So you can take this, cook some pasta, and you spoon this over. You have the nice big chunks of tomato, right? And you have a really nice fresh tomato sauce. So this is a really good way to do that. Again, taking a product that is okay once in a while, but if you're relying on it day in, day out, then obviously you're going to have that sugar, right?
Yeah.
So you start to cook from fresh, and you start to see how your sugar intake can go down quite a bit.
Yeah.
What we've done is we've actually taken it down, and you can see we kind of mashed it up a little bit, so it's a little bit thicker, and we cooked it out a little bit more, so it's now perfect. You could still use this for pasta, spoon it over. You could put this with chicken. You could actually put this with fish. You just talked about a nice Spanish dish that you've made, so this would actually work under the same application, right? So we're going to use it to make a pizza, right?
Okay.
So what we did was, so now I'm going to turn this off because it's ready to go. So again, you put this in a container, let it cool, put it in the fridge, or you could actually take it, put it into resealable plastic bags, and put it in the freezer. And you can already portion them up, right?
Yeah.
And then you just take out what you need. You know what I mean? So again, you make a big batch of this, and again, you're not cooking every day. So you actually start to think, right? So you don't have to worry about opening a can. You just have to go to your freezer and take it out, open the bag, put it in, heat it up, and you've got a pasta sauce.
Yeah.
Right? So thicken. So what we did was we roasted a little chicken. We pan roasted a little chicken, which we're going to chop up. And again, you can make this for a dish, and you have a little left over. So you actually start to think about, I'm going to make 4 pieces of chicken or 3 pieces of chicken for dinner tonight. I have an extra left over. I'll put it in the fridge, or you can slice it up, put it in the fridge, and then the next day you have your sauce in the freezer, take it out, you have your chicken, you have a couple of toppings for a pizza, right?
Yeah.
So, and with that, whatever you have in the fridge, sometimes you might have some salad, you might have some arugula or spinach, right? You know what I mean?
Yes.
You like that?
Yeah.
You like salads? You guys have salads in the fridge? Even if a baby salad mixes?
I'm the one that eats salad the most.
Yeah, but that's okay. So I'm going to show you to do something a little bit different to be able to use that as a topping on the pizza. So you'll be able to get some salad and some fiber into their diet without just giving them a salad. You know what I mean?
Because we would order. It's just because it was easier and we thought it was cheaper. But well, actually, I used to think it was hard. But I mean, what I was doing, I guess it wasn't as hard because, you know, I mean, this is pretty easy to do. If you do it prepared ahead, then it doesn't become such a hassle in cooking every day.
So I'm going to take our garlic that we roasted. And again, this is just getting a little extra flavor, right? Just a little garlic. And you can throw this other bit in your sauce, right? Just to get the flavor out. I'm going to put it in our ketchup here. And then this just helps flavor. So you think about building flavors, trying to get flavor. You think about pizza, and put lots of stuff on there. You buy a pizza from the store, lots of sodium, you know, lots of sugar in there because of the preservatives, but lots of strong flavors, right? So how do you recreate that? You take a nice tomato sauce, start building flavors, a little roasted garlic, we had a little bit of olive oil in there. You have some tomatoes in the fridge, right? I know we have a tomato sauce, but it's always nice to have a little bit of fresh tomato on top. So I put a little fresh tomato in there. And then they get a little juicy, right?
Yeah.
So you get a little bit of juiciness and a little bit of fresh, nice color, right? Your kids like color, right?
Yeah.
And Jonathan likes lots of color. So always when you see pizza, it's always nice and colorful, and so it's another way to get that in. And all you're doing is softening it, right?
Yeah.
And then for a little roughage, a little bit of fiber, also a little bit of greens is always good for your kids, right?
Yeah.
Use a little bit of arugula or baby spinach, right?
Yeah.
Or if it's salad mix, you can even do salad mix. A lot of people don't think you can saute salad
I
mix.
didn't know.
Yeah, you can. Why not? Because it's just baby greens, and you're not really cooking them. You're just sauteing them to the point where they wilt a little bit.
Well, that's all. Not too hot, not too mushy, but well, not too well done and not too raw.
Exactly. See how it's just starting to wilt down a little bit? So it softens up a little bit, so it's a little bit more pleasing flavor and texture for your kids, right?
Yeah.
So once that's done, simple, just turn that off. And now we have everything for a topping, for a pizza topping, right? So we're going to cut a little bit of chicken. How do you feel?
Good.
So see chicken. Can you guys see, can you see how the fiber goes?
Mm-hmm.
So you always think about how to actually take the texture, because your kids don't want to bite into a big hunk of chicken, right?
Yeah.
So when it's on the pizza. But you also want a bite size. So if you actually cut with that fiber, and then you actually then cut across it, right?
Yeah.
You're cutting across that fiber so that you have a nice tender chicken that when it goes on the pizza and put a little bit of the cheese over the top, it's good.
Thick.
How do you feel? You wanna try slicing a little chicken? Are you good with a knife? You like knives, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Good sharp knife. So you
like
see how I
this?
held it? Just kind of straight across, and then
Like this?
Yep.
So down?
Yep. That's it. And then you slice them back and forth. That's good. And depending on the thickness is how thick you slice it, right?
Yeah.
Not bad. Yeah.
I don't want to cut it too thick. It's falling apart.
It's almost as good as the towel. Yeah. It's almost as good as. Better? No. Okay, how do you
it
feel?
fell apart.
Isn't that good?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it falls apart, it's going on the pizza, right?
Oh, that's right.
So we'll do this one. And again, you only need one. You don't need to. You had chicken the night before, right? So this is a little bit of leftover.
Oh, yeah.
Or you make chicken like, Sunday, You roast a whole chicken,
Oh, yeah.
and you carve it off. You serve some for dinner. The rest, you take it off the bone, put it into a bag, and you can slice it up, right? Put it into the bag, put it in the freezer, bring it out. You have a topping for pizza, right?
Yeah.
So you start to think about I don't want to waste it. What do you do with the chicken? Mostly you kind of eat it for a day and then it goes to waste, right? You end up throwing it away. It costs you money, right?
Yeah, it's true.
Right?
Yeah.
So this way you actually put it in the freezer and you have a topping, like for pizza.
Yeah.
Perfect. So now we're ready. We're going to take our pizza base here, and we have all of our toppings. We have some tomato, we have some nice greens, veggies, and we have some chicken, right? So I know that with a lot of breads, there's a lot of sugar.
Yeah.
So this is
white.
especially white bread, exactly. So this is a whole wheat. It's actually a whole grain, whole grain pizza that has no sugar. So there's actually no sugar in these. So again, it's just a matter of reading the package and looking and finding the product.
Yeah.
And think about what you want to do. These are pockets, so you can fill them.
Okay.
But to use them as a pizza base is perfect, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to take a little tomato, and I'm going to show you one.
Sorry, which one you do?
Let me do this one right in front of you. So a little tomato. And again, pizza, you don't want too much tomato, right?
Yeah.
Italians put just a very, very small amount of tomato.
Yeah, because it makes the bread all soggy.
Yeah. But that's where you want to cook, if you cook your sauce down so it's thick,
Oh,
so
yeah.
it's not too wet,
Water, yeah.
then it won't soak in so much.
Works.
All right? So if you want to do, here, let me, so I'm going to show you, okay, why don't you do this one, Anna? This one right here.
Put that in there?
Yeah, put a little bit of that on there. Yeah, so just put a little bit in the middle, and then just spread it around. Yeah, a little bit more, you can go. Is that Jonathan's? Are you mad at him?
No.
No? You're not giving him any sauce?
No.
No?
Like that?
Yeah. And you know, maybe Ruby doesn't like as much, maybe Jonathan likes more, you know? So
Oh,
you just have to kind of get into,
Like,
this is where you can kind of custom a little bit. So you got your tomato on there, and now we got our tomato toppings. So we're gonna put a little, and again, this is, we're gonna put some cheese, yeah. Put a little topping, you know what I mean? And again, you don't need to put too much, right? It's just a little. A lot of people put too much topping on their pizza too,
Yeah.
I think. And then
and
we're
then
gonna
it falls apart.
and it falls apart. And then a little bit of chicken. And again, you don't need too much, right? So it's nice and healthy. And then we have some cheese, right?
Some
Lauren?
nice cheese, yes. Well, if you can just do one with just cheese if you like.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody
Basil?
likes normally with just cheese.
Just cheese, so there you
There
go.
you go.
And then you can sprinkle just a little bit on top, right? And this is a rice-based cheese, and I think we've been putting this in your food. I think. How have you been finding it? Are you enjoying
Different?
it?
Good?
It's different,
Yeah.
right? It's like anything. It's different, so it takes you a little bit to kind of get used to it,
Yeah.
right? But we found actually to be a pretty good product. It melts nice, right?
Oh.
And once it's melted, it has a nice flavor. And again, depending on how you like it, some people don't like to see their cheese. I like it under. Some people like it on top. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these, and here we'll make a couple more in a minute. Let's take these.
Me,
We're gonna put
normally
these in the oven.
Ruby, I normally put cheese because she likes cheese. Me, I'm not one that needs cheese.
Right.
So
Yeah,
I mean,
you
yeah,
don't
I
have
can
to
make
put
her
cheese at all.
just make her one with cheese or just chicken and cheese.
Right. So this is where you can kind of custom.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to take this. We're going to put it in the oven. So it's going to cook for about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Once it's melted, it's hot. You're going to cut it up. So how do you think about that?
It's good. It's
Sauce?
easy.
Easy?
It's easy,
Right?
and I thought ordering it was easy.
Right?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It's good.
Like really good?
Yeah.
Like excellent?
Yeah.
Like amazing?
Yeah.